But the All Blacks, man, like, how amazing was the All Blacks to stay in this game? Like, if we have to look at good things about the All Blacks, Mark Talia, that guy is a world-class player. Everyone talks about Will Jordan, but Mark Talia is, for me, a creator. He's not just there. He creates. Every time he touches a ball, he finds a way to break tackles and just, I mean, a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous player. And just generally, Mark Talia stood out to me. Adi Sevilla is just Adi. A lot of the guys on the field was, well, all the guys was putting out 100%. I felt Vizal was a bit off. There were certain guys that I just felt, but Vizal's always not been to me. He's got all the attributes to be great, but he's not been necessarily, But when we look at the overall All Blacks perspective, from an All Black perspective, they were phenomenal keeping themselves in that game, and that's just the thing that I have huge respect for from an All Black perspective. Sometimes the Springboks, when we start, if we lose a player and everything's against us, I just sometimes feel that, damn, we don't stay in it as they do. They somehow find a way, you know. And it was amazing to see how they did that, you know.
Yeah, you can't fault them on the effort they put into this game, and you know that's the cruelty of sport, man. You know, there's no less effort, no less skill, no less ability that they brought to the final, and the cards just fell 1 point short for them on the day. And you know, there's unfortunately on this stage there's no participation awards. You know, it's just you either win the trophy or you don't, and it's cruel. It's absolutely cruel.
100%, and they're hurting, and I can see that, because we don't usually see that as Springbok supporters. We're in our own country usually, and we're just celebrating. I mean, all the previous World Cups, you and me, from being young boys in the '95 World Cup right through to this, to the last France one in 2007, and this current 2019, and then this one. 2019, I was here, by the way. You don't see it like you see it when you're here, and I can see the hurt, and I can understand it, and the resentment, and at points looking at the ref and this and that and that. I get that, it's pain, but this team produced, and all that I can say is, you know, I love how Adi and Kulisi summed it up when those guys gave each other a hug, and they're like, "I love you, brother." And there's this deep connection between the Springboks and the South Africans, that these are our foes. We hate you on the field, but we do have respect. And I do think we walk off of this field again with that. And this just makes for another great 4 years of battle in rugby championships, in all kinds of competitions where we will face our old foes, and they will come back hard. And you know, you got a Razor coming up. I don't know with the Springboks who will be next, but boy, like it's not going to stop.
The party. Rassie will throw the disco lights, and Razor will do his breakdancing.
Listen, is Rassie staying in the mix? What do you understand?
I don't know. I think we'll probably have to wait about 6 months to a year to really be comfortable with, is he going to stay, or by that time we'll know if he's going to go. But at the moment, he says that he's staying. I hope he is. If he's staying, you know, then I think they'll probably start developing some of the assistant coaches that's in the team at the moment. I suspect that we might see somebody like Wayne Vermeulen come up into the coaching ranks as well. He spent quite a bit of time in the coaches box during the tournament, and you know, on the field.
I mean, the Stormers coach can stand a chance. There's many, but it's interesting to me the difference between the All Blacks and the Springboks. In the All Blacks know what's coming next, and we know it's good, because look, if I look at a Foster, he's privileged with, like, All Black rugby and All Black players. He's always been privileged with good players, but if you look at a Razor and what he's done with the Crusaders and just his abilities, you know that team's going to be great. Like they're going to be good in the future. Like they're going to always be super competitive in this with the Springboks. But for the Springboks, there's a lot of like we celebrating this and we're like, hold on, let's just take the moment in and enjoy it for what it is. But we as rugby lovers already looking at the future because that's what we do. And I'm just curious, where are we going with this? You know, Russie's going. We all like Russie, and Russie, yes, Russie's done a great job, but you know who the guy is, Russie. Where's Russie going? Because if Russie stays, what he's done with Springbok rugby, he's made himself a hero in the eyes of Africans of all colors of of South Africa. Like it doesn't matter who you are or what you believe. He's brought that belief back, and you know, guys who used to support Bafana is now supporting the Springboks, and he's flipped them all. So everyone's Springbok supporters now. But we need someone that understands rugby at a good level to take this forward. You know, and you know, it doesn't matter what color of the skin it is going to be. It's got to really matter that that we take the right guys going forward into this World Cup, into Springbok rugby. You know.
Yeah,
I don't want to get
it's
too
definitely
political,
interesting.
but yeah.
I definitely think it's interesting times ahead, and yeah, only time will tell. And whoever's taking over from Jock, you know, they get a good running, you know, mint condition team to take over, and you know, I hope there's a smooth handover process. You know, to whoever takes the reins next, and you know, they build. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but just keep evolving and you know, building on what they've got. You know, because yes, unfortunately, it's big changes. You know, if you change coaching, you know, you always run the risk of new ideology coming in and new ideas, and you know, it can just go to custard very quickly. We've seen that in the past, and yeah, I'm hoping that we're in the conversation in 4 years' time. But the reality of it is, you know, if the transition to the new coach doesn't go smooth, then yeah, we might be in for a bit of a dry spell.
Yeah, and that's a question, and that's even for me the question with my channel right now. Like, where do I go from here? You know, I've got the URC coming up. I've got Super Rugby next year coming up. Obviously, certain things I can show some content, others I can't. But the fact is, we're here just to commentate. That's really what it's about. But going forward, what do we get excited about for World Rugby? Because it's almost like this. You know, we've had this penultimate, like that's the highlight of sport, and then it's like boom, okay, so now it's over. But you know, from a rugby perspective, we got to say, if we got to look now, it's already the building phase. As soon as the World Cup finishes, we start building again, and there's so many guys now. You're going to see people come through on the URC level and all of this, guys that might now think after this World Cup, I'm done. You know, and even if they come back, they might not have the same drive as some of these boys that will be coming through, the young players coming through in the URC. And I think that's where the new excitement of rugby will be, is the Super Rugby, the URC, everyone. It's a new era. It is a new era of rugby.
Yeah, there's definitely you know, signs of some interesting developments with the Nations Cup, or whatever they're gonna call the tournament, with the North and South teams playing against each other. You know, that whole setup that they bringing to the fore. But yeah, well, I guess we'll just see how it develops and how it plays out, and
Yeah.
what rules they change for the next World Cup. What they're giving us to complain about next.
And that is it. What do they give us to complain about next? But you know what? Us as Springbok supporters have got nothing to complain about right now, because with the game and everything you can complain about. We've won 3 games of 1 point, and we just showed the grit. And look, I am proud as a South African supporter to say we are the world champs. And you know what? The fact is, we can go and analyze a million things as much as you want. We've done this. And Rassi's done this, and Jog Ninobo has done this. And I've got to say, one, guys, Pieter-Steph du Toit has done this, because Pieter-Steph du Toit on this weekend was just phenomenal. And just for me, generally, I don't know. He just stands out in my head like a guy that's gone through injury and kind of never knew if he was going to play rugby again. And he just smashed everyone in that final. Like, he was phenomenal. And just all of that, all encapsulated, just says to me that, you know what, I have to be proud. We walk out of this World Cup, and buddy, you and me have enjoyed this whole World Cup together, but we have to put our chest out proud and say, we never knew when we started chatting on this podcast that we'd be sitting here saying we are the world champs. And I am proud as a South African, born South African, living in New Zealand, to say well done to the Springboks, well done to Jock, to Rassie and Jock, and just phenomenal. It's been awesome.
Definitely. I mean, all the kudos to the players, and as a point of contention, I'll even go as far as saying well done to World Rugby. The World Cup that everybody was bitching about the draw probably delivered us some of the best games that we've seen, with all the crappy draw and lopsided pools.
I think that's by accident, but nevertheless.
Definitely. But like, well done to all the teams that brought it to the tournament, and you know, they really delivered a showpiece worthy of being called the World Cup, because you know, there was a abundance of really good, entertaining, enthralling games across the whole 8 weeks.
And that's the thing, is it was only that one semi was a bit of a blowout with Argentina and the All Blacks, but I've got to say, even if the Springboks played them, I think it would have been a blowout. So that's the one. But the others were all phenomenal games, every single one. It's like you say, I mean, probably the quarters was the most thrilling of them all. Except for, I mean, the final, we can't take anything away, but like some of those games were all like amazing. So one or the other you can pick. But it was a phenomenal World Cup, and we've got a lot to celebrate. And guys, I thank you guys all for following this journey with us, you know. And you know, going forward, me and Rian, we've got our relationship going, and we'll want to do more of these. Tell us if you enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe button, and give us a thumbs up if you don't mind. And we're gonna see you in the next one. Rian, thanks for always joining me, man. I really appreciate your comments, and you look, it's been awesome. It's been awesome to have a mate to chat through right through this World Cup.
It's always a one night a week rugby chat. Nothing wrong with it. It's always fun having somebody to bounce ideas off.
Exactly, and the thing is, you know what? We're all lovers of the same thing, mate, and that's the thing. You know, we love our rugby, and it's so awesome to have the privilege to do that with a good friend. Thanks, man.
No worries, man.
All right. What do we have to do? What does the subscribers have to do?
Watch rugby and have fun.
Oh, come on, man. It's the final. Couldn't you just say it once? Guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Thanks for